Hello, friends. We are back in our podcast, Powering Sustainability. Today is a very, very special day because we have our guests from Sparklo. We have Adi and we have Mudasir. Welcome. Hello, how are you? It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you so much, Pablo. Thank you so much for having us. We're very happy as well to be part of this amazing initiative and very educational podcast. Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Power Bear, for having us. And we are expecting to have a very informative, productive conversation. And we really appreciate your initiative to educate people, spread awareness. Like we say in sustainability, most of the times, awareness is one of the main challenge, is one of the core issue that we face. Because we live in a country which is where different nationalities are here. The standard of education or understanding, we don't have a uniformity there. So there are people from different backgrounds. Everyone have different understanding level. So your podcast, your initiative, it goes a long way to spread that awareness and education about sustainability.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very good to know that it has a reach and it's touching people's hearts, And this is the important thing of what we do is we really want to protect the environment. We really want to generate this awareness of what we do is important. And what we do will set a difference and maybe will expand to the whole world. We will speak about the involving technology in sustainability. I know that Sparklo is amazing into that, so I leave that to you. You're the experts.
Right, sure. The technology plays the vital and critical role when it comes to waste management or sustainability. What we see is the orthodox or the traditional approach in waste management was just collection and transportation and just dispose the waste whatever you are collecting. That was the traditional approach, but it's evolving over the time and technology is playing a vital role. The most important is technology helps you to get real time data to track it, because what you can't track you can't improve. What you can manage, you can only improve what you can record or what you can manage and what you can measure, most importantly. So this is where technology plays a vital role, and over the time we have seen from technology has evolved in waste management sustainability. Earlier, the idea was only collection and transportation. Now technology gives us the insights about how people interact with waste management and recycling and sustainability overall. So this is where Sparklo comes in. At Sparklo, we have clubbed hardware, software, and most importantly, behavioral sciences into one platform. We have one of the largest and network in of RVMs. And what happens, how technology is playing role in this from user perspective. Once you dispose the bottle, you immediately get rewards against that. So that instant interaction with technology, when you get reward against your efforts, because earlier sustainability was considered or recycling was considered as responsibility, as obligation, as something that is expected from you. Technology is what really it makes it fun, makes it interactive. If you see like Sparklo RVM, it's really engaging, and the whole concept is gamification. It's touch screen, and people get reward instantly, and this is how. And most importantly, you get the real time data, and that data gives you insights about consumer behavior, about user expectation, about their participation. Because one of the misconception or stereotype that exists in recycling is there is lack of infrastructure. But there is infrastructure. what lacks, they say that there is lack of awareness or infrastructure, but there is enough awareness. Everybody knows recycling is important. We should recycle, but but there is, like they say, what's in it for me. Once you club that with the incentive or with the reward, with the recognition, because that's human nature, that you want recognition, you want sense of achievement for what you do. That's where technology plays an important role, because the earlier approach is you are collecting, you are disposing, the user is not involved in that journey. So technology really helps, is an enabler. Technology helps you to form or change or modify user behavior.
Yes, and we spoke a lot about that in the podcast. That human beings are used to expect a reward for doing X, Y, Z, and we were talking about there's some rules that municipality must do in favor of people that is doing recycling, or like you. The first time I saw these kind of machines, because to put the full scope of what machines we're talking about, is the machines that you go and you deposit your plastic bottle and you will get a reward. And normally I saw these ones in supermarkets, in these kind of places. I was living in Germany before I was living here in Dubai.
One of the leading countries.
Yes, yes, exactly. In every supermarket that I went, it was these machines, and it's the first time I saw a country
You get
that.
money in return.
Yes, exactly. In that, so
This model, the DSR, the deposit recycling system, I think it's called, is widely common across a lot of, like, especially West Europe. You can find it in countries like Denmark, Germany, and they have a great collection rate. It goes up to over 95% of all the plastic bottles are being collected in those countries, and it's very effective. And we hope that one day we will have it in this region. But what Sparklo wanted to achieve, we didn't want to wait for the regulations, and we work closely with a lot of government entities, a lot of regulators here in the country and in the region as well, and we get tremendous support from them, to be honest. However, we didn't want to wait for that. So the idea came of, as my colleague Mudassir mentioned, that to engage everybody, to make it collective efforts, some sort of like collective efforts. So by engaging the users, incentivizing them to change their behavior, we worked on that particular aspect, which is changing the behavior. So now our users, and we have more than 400,000 in 2 years in UAE, for example. Our users will take the recyclable bag, okay, the shopping bag. They go to the traditional local supermarket. Most likely, they will find the Sparklo mat, which is the reverse vending machine, and then they deposit the plastic and they get the rewards. They spend it in the supermarket or the shop or the retailer, and they feel very happy and, as you mentioned, rewarded. So there's an and by doing that, we engaged a couple of elements in the process. So we engage the customer or the user, and then the location partner as well. They become part of this initiative because they're offering something. They're offering the location, which can be highlighted in their ESG reports or sustainability efforts, and it helps a lot in their reporting in that sense. And also, we gave a chance to we opened it for sponsors as well to come and be part of this. And if you see or notice Sparklo machines or Sparklo mats across the city or the country, you will definitely notice our sponsors and our partners. We call them partners because they support us by keeping this initiative growing. The main investment would come from us because we have invested in tremendous amount in just building this infrastructure and this wide network across all the 7 Emirates, for example, in UAE. Even our machines are being manufactured and produced with locally here, and it's something that we really wanted to achieve. It makes us very proud to have a UAE made machine. But going back to the technology point, and I think it is very interesting, because technology was always there. Creating the first bin is technology, right?
Yes.
But now just you need to make sure that, because it's not only technology that is growing. I think the awareness, the collective awareness of the society is also growing. People expect something more focused, more targeted. So that's one of the reasons. For example, we focus only on two elements: PET and aluminum cans. We want to perfect this and we are doing that. So by just focusing on that, we solved a couple of very big challenges in the recycling process as a whole. So, for example, we are encouraging people by rewarding them by placing those RVMs to recycle, to deposit, and also we are receiving sorted material. Makes it much easier to start the recycling process for it. And even we eliminated a big percentage of the contamination, because all the machines are they come with sensors, with AI built in within them, and we had AI before even AI became a trend, built in and implemented in our machines. So it will not accept any container or any bottle with some organic waste left inside it, which makes it even much better to start the recycling facility. And we manage this whole process, and we offer it to our partners, as a plug and play model. So for them, it's not there's no much headache. They don't need to become experts in waste management to be part of this amazing initiative. And so it's so far so good, I would say. Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's why we proudly say that we are not in waste management, we are in behavior management. So
That's correct.
and that's where technology plays the vital role, because it gives you real time data. Once you have data, like we say, you can only improve what you can measure or what you can track.
Yes, and if you mind, I will ask what happened with the recycling process. Then you also handle all the recycling process once the machines are full.
I think this is an excellent question, and a lot of people ask that. So we manage the process from placing the RVM, maintenance of the RVM, making sure that this RVM is in perfect condition, working, located in like high traffic area. And of course, we manage the loyalty program that drives the most of the interactions, and I mean depositing the waste. And then we track this whole process with our waste management partners. We're not here competing with any waste management company. We actually work with almost all of them. They're our great partners, and we complement each other. So we make sure that the collectibles, the waste, is reaching the right recycling facilities, and the right we're with that process until that point. And in that point, we trust that the recycling facility, of course, we have some sort of like internal reporting between us and them to make sure that the materials have entered the recycling process and they are being utilized in environmentally friendly way. Yeah. And for example, people like I think there was a lot of campaigns against plastic that people started, like every time they see a plastic bottle there, they think like, okay, this is going straight to the ocean and it will be swallowed by some turtle, which is true if not collected in the right way.
Exactly.
If collected in the right way, which is, we believe what we're doing is the perfect way to collect plastic bottles, then it's actually one of the best materials for any industry, because you can keep reusing the same material more over and over again, and with the least amount of energy. If you compare the PAT and even the aluminum cans as a raw material to other materials, I'm talking here glass or other materials that are used in different industries, PET is much more friendly, and so much that you can do so much with the recyclables, in comparison to other materials. So we're making sure that it's being collected in the right way and going to the right recycling facilities.
And like we said, waste is just a resource at the wrong place. So we need to have that positive thinking towards PET bottle also. It's part of our common life in UAE, in overall in GCC also. Wherever we go, we will find drinking bottles, and it's part of our everyday life. So defining or having better systems to manage that is the ultimate solution, instead of eliminating that, which is not possible because it's convenient, it's easy to use, it's easily available everywhere, and it has been part of our habits over as long as we can think of this.
Yes, and that's a little part of the second stage that we will talk. There is the smart recycling. I always divide these smart things in two things, because now normally we speak when we speak about smart things is that the thing that we are using has some AI or some intelligence or something that will do the process more automatic or more information on it. But I divide it in two. The second is the person must be smart also. The smart thing with a person that doesn't have conscience, it's equal zero, because and you will see I come from South America, for example. You have a bin, and next to the bin you have the trash, not in the bin.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like that. So that's why it's important to have this combination of two: the smart people, smart beans, smart ways of to handle the waste. I don't know what you can tell me about this.
Like they say, actually, it's very important. Knowing only is not enough if you don't act on it. I mean, people know a lot of things. We know recycling is good. We know we should manage waste better. I mean, most importantly, if we take UAE example, you will find waste bins or bins placed at almost every location, every point, every corner, whatever you can think. But still, some people, they choose to, I mean, throw waste outside the bin. So no, I mean, there is awareness, there is infrastructure, but the gap is the lack of motivation, or is the lack of the drive. That's where I believe technology plus incentivizing people. I saw some interview, and they were like they say, incentivize people to drive them, because yeah, you can't push people all the time. That's why we don't see consistent results. There is lack of consistency. So we know there is enough infrastructure, we know there are enough bins, we know there is enough awareness, but acting on it, and how that acting or that action should come naturally, how you make it part of somebody's everyday life, is through incentivizing them, is through rewarding them, so people don't feel obligated, but people feel motivated. It should be fun, it should be easy and convenient to do that. And then most importantly, we help to drive that is through Sparklo rewards points, because we know, sense of achievement or accomplishment is like a basic human attitude or psychology. So the use when you reward good behaviors, when we were in school, or we are playing, or when we do something good, our teachers or parents or society, when they appreciate, we always go the extra mile. The kids will always go the extra mile next time to do something more better. So that's why rewarding or incentivizing is so important for us to achieve better recycling, better management overall within waste management.
Right. Just to also add, this is definitely an issue in some areas or some countries. Luckily, I would say it's not that massive if you compare it to other regions. I mean, if we're taking this region, the UAE and GCC countries, because we're active in we have big networks in UAE for like our biggest UAE and Saudi. We also have like a good base in Qatar and Oman now, and Jordan, also Kuwait soon, hopefully coming. So like this issue is not that common. I would say like people still use, like they know like how to use the waste management, and they don't litter as much as other regions. And that comes, I think, from the general policy and the general vision. So if you like, we hear about it and we read about it everywhere. Each country has a plan, the vision of 2030, the vision of 2050, and all of that. And you can see, like, going to into these plans, it's clearly stating that sustainability KPIs are on the top priority of each and every country. And this is, for me, this is a good indicator to just to see how each country is positioning themselves, according, they're not comparing themselves to like some less developed areas in the world, but actually to the raising the bar really high to even compete with advanced countries when it comes to waste management processing, like Germany or Sweden or Scandinavian countries, which is great. What we how now our part is supporting that and being part of that and taking our responsibility and becoming part of that amazing the collective initiative. And also in, like, for example, I would say like us investing in educational institutes, because I think a huge part of this comes from education from early stages. What we teach our kids, what we teach our university students, providing them with like solutions that are realistic to to their level of education, to their level of living. I would say, if that's correct to say. So, for example, we have invested with a lot of like school partners, universities, educational institutes, placing our reverse vending machines, running even events for them. In coordination with those institutes, of course, to make sure that they understand the importance of this and they become believers in this model. And as Mudassir also mentioned, gamifying the whole experience, because if you go to our application, you can go to the ranking, and you can see people competing of how much they collected. And if you see these numbers, you will be stunned. That we have people that collected more than 500,000 bottles.
Oh, wow.
So like I like the dedication level, the devotion level that we have seen and we still see from those people. It's incredible. And I would like just to give them a shout out. You taking advantage of the podcast, to all these people that are achieving these. We see you, we know you, we thank you a lot for your commitment with Sparklo and for this initiative.
And as Mudassir said, it's so important to have the numbers. That helps you so much to understand what you should push more, or maybe you should change the strategy, or what to do. But it's very important. All the information that you gave is fantastic, because I think and I believe that one incentive to people is one is the rewards, and other is to give them the correct channels and information, because imagine now the trends for searching for information, it's not likely books now anymore. People goes through social media on the phone, and now we are providing the channel also to give the information through a way that it's common now in this era. So what do you think is the future trends for this recycling?
I think data is more important than ever, again, referring to Sparklo, this is one of the main reasons that we kept everything almost transparent. You can, as any user, any partner, any person that can download the Sparklo app can track exactly how many users we have on each RVM, where are these RVMs, how much they collected, each and every one. There are machines that collected more than 2 to 3 million bottles since we installed them. So giving this data and make it accessible for our users and our partners it helps a lot. Because at the end of the day, like especially when it comes to now, let me just focus on the business partners for some time. A lot of these companies are, I would say, like cautious about the importance of sustainability, and they invest heavily. A lot of our partners, and their investment is amazing, and their efforts are amazing. But there's a small challenge here that we kind of like help with, which is like putting this into data and into numbers. How much does that effort contributed in the reduction of carbon footprint? How much did it contribute in the reduction of CO2 emissions, for example? And this is all tracked on Spark. So because we know exactly how much we're collecting, we know exactly how many users, we know our users, we run surveys, we understand more and more about them, and we know exactly how much materials we're like, how many plastic bottles have we collected from this location in 1 month, in 1 year, the growth rate, versus how much aluminum cans, and we know how much of that reached the recycling facility and how it was handled, so we can provide very credible data that can help any user or business partner in understanding the impact of their effort. How much did they contribute? And other than the rewards that is really important, comes the feeling good about something that I did. Yeah, a lot of I've mentioned this before in some meetings. Some of the best referrals that we got as business referrals came through kids that referred Sparklo to their parents.
Imagine.
And their parents would be like decision makers in some like big organizations that will be like, okay, why is my son or daughter taking me to the mall to drop these plastic bottles? And this is music to our ears, because this is exactly what we're after. If we start with this young generation, and we make sure that they believe in what we do in the initiative, then we're doing a good job.
Yeah.
This is exactly how one of our main indicators. Yeah.
And people take pride. If you go to
Yeah.
our YouTube channel, people are uploading videos, kids are uploading videos. And regarding future trends, I would like to add, as someone who has spent over a decade in industry within waste management, working with governments, municipalities, companies, and clients on ground, what I see, there will be a shift from waste management to resource recovery, because nothing is waste. It's just resources that we need to have better systems, and that's where the collaboration between brands like Power Beer, Sparklo, other key players and stakeholders is very crucial. But like they say, if you wanna go fast, go alone. If you're gonna wanna go far, go together. So collaboration is very important, and this will be the biggest trend, because no one is big enough to have all the solutions, have all the answers. Everyone's role and everyone's sustainability is not like solo responsibility for someone. It's consumers, governments, companies. Everybody has to come together to achieve good results. And one important trend that is my favorite, or what I see the future, is the increase or the rise of incentivized models, because consumer behavior will push companies from merely waste collectors to be a solution providers. Because you can build the biggest infrastructure, you can build the biggest highway, what if there are no cars there? People have to use that. And consumers are pushing companies to for better solutions, where there is resource recovery, there is waste reduction, and there is that's where, again, what Adi mentioned, the data is important, because once you have data in hand, you analyze, and then only you always modify, because perfection doesn't exist. You always strive continuously for better and better solutions.
Yes, you're completely right. And as I always say to the guests that are on the podcast, uh, and this is our last, I promise.
It's okay.
We love that. We can talk about maybe
Everything.
2 hours.
Yes. How do you feel knowing that what you do is making an impact? Not only UAE, because the news runs through the world. So, how is that sensation that you have of this?
That's a great question. I think, first of all, seeing the reports that we generate, and knowing, like understanding, analyzing the data, and to see like the impact of the carbon footprint and the CO2 emissions. But also, like it can be the smallest thing, like looking at a family using a Sparklo mount in one of the hypermarkets, or it makes me feel good about what I do and the reason why I go to work every day. And also, every time we just install or activate new locations, it I feel like we're providing, because we track even the increase of users in those locations. We understand, like, okay, people are excited, and we get a lot of requests, like even sometimes for any reason, we might remove an RVM from a location for maintenance or for relocation or something. We start immediately getting emails from those users, and they start contacting us. It makes us feel good, and it makes us feel
This
like,
positive
yeah,
feedback.
yeah, positive
I mean,
feedback.
from a location, if we remove an RVM because of some other reason, which I mean, a user would not understand, we get even very hyper complaints. Why you have removed that?
Yeah, and they reach out to the
So the
location as well.
positive feedback, the enthusiasm from users, and the appreciation of the initiative is what all keep us going. And ultimately, the founders and our chairman, Mr. Maxim, the vision is to collect each and every bottle in UAE. That's our goal. UAE as a country consume almost between 3.5 billion to 4 billion plastic bottles, and out of that, 90 to 93% pragmatically everything goes to landfill currently. And Sparklo, as a company, we have contributed almost we have collected and recycled 200 million plastic bottles, which is a significant number. So the idea is to collect each and every plastic bottle that UA use consumes. Why it's important? Because a plastic bottle takes almost 450 years to decompose naturally, which will never happen in our lifetime.
Yes.
So that's why it's so important. But it's so simple. So that's why you don't need the solutions are. It doesn't have to be a rocket science. There are simple solutions available, which should be impactful and meaningful.
Yes, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation, and we hope to have you in a lot more episodes because
Actually, next time maybe we can come more prepared.
no, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. All the information that you give is fantastic for all the users, and it will make a impact, I'm sure. Thank you very much, and you're always welcome. This is your home.
Thank you very
so
much, Pablo.
Thank you so much, Pablo. Thank you so much for Power Bear and your contribution. It's very vital. It's very critical, and you are playing a great role. I watch sometime your YouTube channel, your previous podcast, and you are doing tremendous job as Pablo, as company. That's really great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.